Welcome everyone to the Rewriting Corner. I'm your host Leanne, and for this non-spoiler review part of the video, we are going to be talking about Birth of a Killer by Darren Shan. And if you've been here before, you know the drill. And if you've not been here before, pull up a seat, sit down, and we're going to talk about this book. This story is part of a series called The Saga of Martin Cripsley. If you couldn't see by the top where it says that. Birth of a Killer. The first kill is the hardest. So, now about the series. This is actually a prequel to the series, The Saga of Darren Shan, or more commonly known as the Croûte du Fric series by Darren Shan. Read the beginning of Martin Cripsley to see what made him the way he was in the Saga of Darren Shan. So basically this is like the development of Martin Cripsley. Someone who was really big in Darren Shan's The Croûte du Fric series. What made me read this book? It is a prequel series book for the Saga of Darren Shan. I enjoyed this series and thought I would enjoy this too. The blurb. When terrible events force young Martin Cripsley to flee his home, he finds himself alone in the world. Then he meets mysterious Sebanal, who introduces him to the ways of the vampire clan. But will Martin turn his back on humanity forever? Who knows? My blurb. Martin Cripsley had something terrible happen to him that forced him to flee his family and home. Meeting a vampire changes the course of his life forever. The setup of characters and motives was done in an easy manner. The motives were simple for all the characters that were introduced. The characters reacted to the situation when I believed to be normal. Ah, vampires, I must kill them. Back in the day they were like, you're a vampire, I must kill you, stake you, cut off your head. You know, that type of stuff. And it was just more like blah. Terrified, but blah. Blah, 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 blah. The genre is considered to be teen and young adult. I guess. I read as a teen. I read the Darren Shan series as a teen. Did this live up to my expectations? Yes. I cannot wait to read the rest of them. I can't wait until I can draw them and start reading them and be so thankful that I can do it now. Can't wait. Not much further and I'll be able to start doing that. It'll be great. Which character do I relate to the most? No one. Not in this one. Maybe in another one I will. Which secondary character stood out the most? Sebanal. He was someone that thought one way and did things in a different way. Like he was into doing a lot of stuff. That was the old way of doing things, but he still did them the new way because he respected his clan. What was more important? The character or the plot? The plot for the character Larkin was the most important thing. It's about his development. There are multiple voices and it did not affect my reading. Should you go and read the story/series? Yes, if you love vampire lore, if you enjoy the Darren Shan series, if you enjoy reading Darren Shan's The Thin Executioner, or his even Zomboy series, read this. As you vamoose out of the non-spoiler part of the review because you don't want to be spoiled, why don't you drop a like, a comment, or even your lovely subscription down below. So bye! Okay people, there you meet all kinds of characters in this story. But the first thing I want to do is tell you that Vampanese is for vampires that drain the blood of a human. They drink all the blood and kill them. A vampire does not. And of course, the Croûte du Fric is a circus where a lot of people who are not normal humans works. But there are normal humans in it too, like the dancers. So, the main character, Martin Cripsley. He killed Traz for killing his cousin Ver. He ran from home because he did not want to be hanged to death for killing Traz. He met Seba, a vampire, and swore to become one, thus becoming the vampire assistant to Seba. This is his journey to become a vampire and his youth as a vampire. You have Ver Horston. Larton's cousin that was drowned because he hit Traz in the face with a cocoon. I mean, like Traz deserved to be hit in the face with a cocoon because Traz was saying a lot of vile, mean, nasty things, so he could just get Ver upset, so he could just trash Ver and beat the shnight out of him because that's what Traz liked to do. Of course, he also liked to kill the children, and he did not care. Traz actually taunted him with his dead mother, and that's why he threw the cocoon at Traz's face. So Traz grabbed him and just like put his head into a hot boiling water vat and just kept him underneath there until he stopped moving, until he was dead. Sebanal, the vampire that turned Martin into a vampire and taught him all he knew about being a vampire and about the vampire clan and about being generals in Vampire Mountain, which is where all the vampires go to meet, and about the vampire princes, who are the vampires that rule the vampire clan, and the generals who enforce the rules of the vampire clan. There's a lot. Alright, Traz. He was a foreman at a silk factory that killed children because of the harsh way he ran it. He killed Ver because he wanted to. Lauren actually stabbed him in the neck, killing him. Lauren, of course, was also going to sit there and stab him in the eyes after he was dead and stopped himself. So, he had the potential to be a vampire. Periscal, a vampire prince that is younger than Seba and best friends with Seba. He wants Seba to become a prince, but Seba doesn't want to because Seba knows he would mistreat everything. There is Jerval. He is part of the crew to Freak. He is a man that does not burn when lit on fire. Mr. Herbernius Tall runs the crew to Freak, which is circus. You have Lavesha, tattoo lady. Her tattoos actually show people who stare at them long enough their hidden desires by reshaping into those, which includes if they killed somebody, it would show their deepest darkness secret. Rax is actually a guy who can hammer nails into wood and stone blocks with his head. Marletta is a magician and an escape artist. Her husband Verus is a ventriloquist that can make others, including people in the crowd, say whatever they want with their own voices, and they can't stop him. Salabas Skin, he can pull his skin from his body as far away as he wanted to. Then you have Diamas Dodge, fast person that can dodge anything that's thrown up. They're all part of the Crew to Freak series. Wester Flack. His entire family is killed because his father helped kill a vampire. The vampire's friend wanted revenge. He tried to get revenge for the death of his own family. He agreed to become a vampire in order to kill the vampires that killed his family because he was just dead set on. Merla was the vampires that killed Wester's family. He actually allowed Wester and Lartin to live when they went to go kill him. Lair Schmidt was the oldest vampire prince ruling the vampires, and you have Aziz Benedette, which is the second oldest prince. Then you have Choke Yamada, a vampire prince, and the youngest one there. Then you have, they're male and female, they're all called princes regardless of their gender. Avancha March is a vampire friend to Seba Nile. Then you have Tanish Eel, a youthful vampire that lures Martin from his master Seba to Seba's own design because he wants Martin to strike out on his own. Wester followed Martin. Then you have Des Tiny. He's actually not mentioned in his name in here, but that's what it is. He's a man that keeps an eye on people destined for certain things, and he was actually keeping an eye on Tanish Eel, and then he's like, no, never mind, I'm going to keep an eye on you, Martin Cripsley. Lady Ivana is mentioned briefly. She's the Lady of the Wilds. I hope she comes back and becomes more important later on. That'd be really interesting if she did. There are several POVs within this story. Two, actually. Those are Lartin and Wester. My favorite character was Lartin because he only sought power to keep the peace. My most disliked character was Traz. He killed children and did not care. He also permanently dyed their hair so he could tell which child worked where in the silk factory. It was told in chronological order with appropriate language for the genre, which is young teen, young adult. The foreshadowing was done well, and the suspense kept you reading to learn more about the destiny of Lartin. Like, what's he gonna do next? The background is explained enough to understand the important characters, Lartin and Wester, because they're the most main focus. Lartin at first, and then it shifts to Bahula. The title of the book meant that Lartin would become a killer of a human and animals as well as drink blood. The cover, as you can see, my cover here is of Lartin Cripsley in front of a Mall museum in a graveyard where Seb and Niall rested for the rainy day. What stood out as memorable was it did not take Lartin long to decide being a vampire was his destiny. It was like he was always meant to become one, and nothing he did would stop it. My favorite passage from the story is Lartin found himself thinking of Wester, as he had once thought of a boy called Ver Horsten, not just as a friend, but as a brother. It means he learns to love somebody again, give somebody else in his life, let him into his heart. My favorite quote, Mr. Tall grunted, a victim of destiny. That's what it is, because Mr. Tall asked him, why are you dead on becoming a vampire? And Larry's like, it just feels right. So he's like a victim of destiny. What I thought about the end of the book, it is good to strike out on your own so one can grow into the person that they're meant to be, and it also helps him grow into the person he becomes in the Saga of Darren Shan. What book did this remind me of? The Darren Shan series, because it is based in the same universe, with one of the main characters in Darren Shan's The Saga of Darren Shan in this one. But this book, as you know, is part of a series called The Saga of Lartin Cripsley. I hope I'm saying his name right. You know? I rate this book a 5 because it's just such good storytelling. And I don't know what it is about the Darren Shan universes, but they're just really compelling to read. So, if you think I deserve a like, comment, or even your lovely description, drop it down below. I will see you next illusion.